Hey friends, welcome back to the garage. My name is Jim with FLEX, and I'm so glad you're here because I am super excited to try this new DeWalt DCF850 impact driver. This thing is ridiculously short. We all know, if you watch a channel like this, you probably have seen this thing out on other channels, pictures being leaked a couple months ago. But if you compare it to the current flagship 887, the XR DCF887, I mean, you can just see this thing is like 1.5 inches shorter. I'm not going to measure these things. You can look up the specs online. But just taking a look at it, you can see how much shorter this tool is than the current flagship from DeWalt. And even looking at the 12-volt extreme that you can get over at Lowe's, it's probably a full inch and change, 1.25 inches shorter than that tool as well. It's a little bit thicker going around the body of the tool. So I will weigh these things in just a minute. But obviously a lot of hype around this tool. I was debating, do I put this up against the tools I used in the Subcompact Showdown series, or do I put this up against the top tier tools that I did in the Deep Impact series? By the way, I'll put those in the cards above. You can go watch those playlists if you'd like. I decided to put this against the top tier impacts, the FLEX Quick Eject, the Milwaukee Fuel Gen 3, the DeWalt XTR, which did really well in my testing. In fact, those were the top 3 right there. And the reason is, it says on the box, there's a sticker on the box that this came in, that says our most compact high torque ever. So DeWalt is marketing this as a high torque, despite the fact that it's in their Atomic series. I can only hope that means that the upgrade to the XR series, the upgrade to the 887, is just going to blow us away. Because from what I've seen so far, this is going to perform pretty well, but we'll see how it does in my tests. One thing I want to mention, I purchased this tool from Acme Tools. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it as a bare tool, so I paid the full $200 to come with a charger and a 5 amp hour battery. I know a lot of tool channels have gotten a care package with the impact wrenches and this, but I bought this myself. Just wanted you guys to know that. I'm happy for those guys that they got them free, but I bought this with my own money, so my opinions are going to be strictly whatever I think of this tool. But before we get into the testing, I just want to address something really quickly. This is a serious issue that means a lot to me. But you'll see the shirt I'm wearing that says D Handle for Life. Lately, some people in the mainstream tool media have been, pushing this cult of barrel grip users.
Blessed be the barrel grip. Amen.
Altar of the barrel grip.
Blessed be the barrel grip.
Blessed be.
And it's simply unacceptable. The D handle is a proven design that our country was built on, and I'm just not going to stand for this barrel grip BS that's been going around. So if you're with me on that, if you support the traditional all-American values of the D handle jigsaw, please go to my merch store in the link below and purchase your very own D Handle for Life t-shirt. And I hope you'll join the cause with me. All right, so let's get into the comparisons. Okay, so up first, let's weigh the new tool with the 5 amp hour battery. Again, if you buy it in a kit right now from like Acme Tools where I got mine, it comes with a 5 amp hour battery. And it looks like it comes in at 3 pounds, 7 ounces, so just under 3.5 pounds. Say you wanted to use it with a 2 amp hour battery. So let's put it on there with a 2 amp hour battery. And that comes in at 2 pounds, 14.4 ounces, so just shy of 3 pounds. Out of curiosity, the Milwaukee Fuel Gen 3 is a pretty compact tool. In fact, you can see the difference between this and the 850 isn't as big as the other DeWalt tools in the 850. It's probably only got a 1/2 inch on it. So if we were to use the Milwaukee with a 2 amp hour battery, that would weigh 3 pounds, 3.1 ounces. So that's interesting. How about the 12 volt, the extreme, with a 5 amp hour battery, the largest battery you can get? 2 pounds, 10 ounces. So this one's only 4 ounces lighter than the new 850. And finally, let's take a look at the DeWalt XR, the 887, with the same 5 amp hour battery that you might get in a kit as the new 850. 3 pounds, 6.4 ounces. And again, I have short-term memory, So I'm gonna have to look at this again and see what the weight is. Whoopsie, see what the weight is on here. 3 pounds, 7.1 ounces. So very similar in weight. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. Let's get into some fastener tests. Okay, so for the first test, we're gonna do a 3/8 inch by 6 inch lag into my OSB stack. We're gonna do a 2 amp hour battery, the 5 amp hour battery in the kit, and the 8 amp hour battery, which is an upgrade to 21700 cells. Here we go. Speed 3. Each of the batteries is fully charged. Okay, this time we're gonna do 8-inch Timberlock fasteners into a 2x4 layered on top of the OSB stack so that it's thick enough. Still on speed 3. Okay. Okay, we have a 1 1/4 inch Spider Stinger auger bit with a brad tip and our non-pressure treated 4x4. 8 amp hour battery, speed 3. So I've discontinued the previous stump test. I'm going to remove it from all the results that I tallied before. That being said, I only added the number of place to the overall point system in the stump, so it was never weighted that heavily anyway. But I'm going to take the top 2 from our Deep Impact series, the Milwaukee Fuel Gen 3, the FLEX Quick Eject, and I'm going to drive 4-inch by 1/2 inch lags into the end grain of the 6x6 up against the new DCF850. Depending on how it goes with the 850, I might try 12-inch lags, but let's see how it goes with these first. Here we go. Okay, so these guys seem to do pretty well with that 4-inch by 1/2 inch lag. We're gonna give the 1/2 inch a try. I would not recommend doing this at home, but for the purposes of entertainment and this video, we're gonna give it a shot, all right? So again, speed 3, battery still fully charged. Here we go with the Milwaukee Fuel Gen 3. All right, so we're getting a thermal timeout on the Milwaukee. So we're gonna leave it at that. Let's see what the little DeWalt can do. All right, so I gave it a couple timeouts on each. This one seems to be a little more intelligent than the old 887. I feel like the 887 would have just started spewing grease and self-destructing if I had tried this. Whereas this guy seems to have a thermal overload very similar to the Milwaukee Fuel. Okay, so we're doing the FLEX Quick Eject last. I was caught off guard and found that my 8 amp hour battery was not fully charged when I pulled it off the shelf, but it now has 4 bars. It's on its highest speed, speed 3, no special modes. All right, let's see how this thing does compared to the Milwaukee Fuel Gen 3 and our new DeWalt. Well, it does really well if it breaks the wood. All right, let's find a different spot here. I just have to be careful. I don't want to hit these with the tool when it gets down there. All right, let's try that again. Man, this thing is ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. The Flex just very impressive tool. So, you know, there you go. But what I will say is, for a tool the size of the DeWalt, very impressive. I mean, you've got the Fuel Gen 3, you've got this guy. I think the Fuel Gen 3 is quoted at 2,000 inch-pounds of torque. I think this one's like 2,200. Whereas the DeWalt's down at 1825, and the DeWalt is made to be an Atomic line compact series. So not a bad showing by a tiny little impact driver. All right, so we're gonna put the results up in just a minute for how this did versus other top tier impact drivers. You know, is it a complete match for the FLEX Quick Eject and the Milwaukee Fuel Gen 3? Not quite, but this is in their Atomic line. This is not an XR tool. So, you know, I think the key takeaway here is the power to size ratio. This thing is extremely powerful for something under 4 inches long. You know, granted, a lot of these tests against the other ones, I was doing the 8 amp hour battery, but it really wasn't bad with the 5 and not even too bad with the 2. If you're just doing standard fasteners with a 2 amp hour battery, take some of the weight off of this thing, combined with the size, man, this would be my pick for a compact impact driver, especially if you're in the 20 volt DeWalt line. So let's put those results at the bottom of the screen. We'll see how this did versus the other ones. Again, you know, power-wise a little behind, but I hope that this is a signal or a sign of what's coming up in the XR line. If they're getting this much out of a Atomic impact driver, I would hope that the XR that replaces the 887 eventually is just going to knock it out of the park. Maybe it'll even keep up with the FLEX Quick Eject as far as raw power. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Please consider subscribing. Those types of things help me pay for these tools, because again, I bought this with my own money, 200 bucks for the kit. Also, again, I just want to remind you guys to join the movement. Keep the D handle in our construction workers' hands. D handle for life. Merch store link in the description below so you can get your very own t-shirt. My name is Jim with Philly Fixed. God bless you guys.
Hello, I'm Jim Davis.